Hello, everybody, and welcome to what I'm going to call a recording nightmare. First, let's just get into the explanation. So first, I had to deal with sound, which I think I have muted. Did I have sound playback? Yeah, let's not have it muted. So that sound is muted. Let's turn that down now. And the sound of the game was much louder than my own audio, so you couldn't hear me speaking. Which is probably a good thing, but I fixed it anyways. And then there is in the game you can have like giant black bars, and the way that I record means that those black bars are going to show up. And basically what it is it's because this picture doesn't take up the full like 1080p screen. And my only ability to get rid of it ended up being I have to have this as a window so it's not full screen. Now, if I was streaming, this would be fine, because I'd have the streaming layout. But I don't have that kind of thing. And I didn't want to set it up last second when this would work. So I just got the little picture of the box art now. So it's going to be like the background. It's going to be great. So let's start. Beginning of Super Metroid. Okay, well first let's data clear. I don't know what this is or why it's here. It's not allowed. So, there are ways to play this game that are not known to a normal, just casual player. And unfortunately, I know those ways. I say unfortunately because it means that I'm going to not know the actual route, the route that's supposed to be taken.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
Voice acting that exists in this game, but it means I'm not going to actually know the proper path to take. So I'm going to try not to speed run, but I am going to show off tricks when I don't necessarily need to. Meaning, if there's going to be an item that I'd collect that isn't game breaking, so let's say I have super missiles, and I know a way to get super missiles through a technique that's not what the game expects you to do, I'm still going to do it because I already have supers. That kind of thing. Same with any sort of item. So I'm going to try and do it as vanilla as possible. I first battled the Metroids on planet Zebes. It was there that I foiled the plans of the space pirate leader Motherbrain to use the creatures to attack galactic civilization. So this just recaps Metroid 1 and 2, and then gives a little bit of setup. You can see Super Metroid style Samus is taking on Super Metroid style Motherbrain for a Metroid 1 fight. I next fought the Metroids on their homeworld, SR-388, and completely eradicated them, except for a larva, which after hatching followed me like a confused child. When I take that back, I'm going to be at least doing things like wall jumping. But there's some... I may budge on some infinite bomb jumps, I don't know. I personally delivered it to the Galactic Research Station at Ceres so scientists could study its energy-producing qualities. Handshake. And you see you'd seen the larva hatching that you'd see at the end of Metroid 2. Scientists' findings were astounding. I don't know what's supposed to be behind Samus, like there's the two bits of rock or something that's to her left and right, and it's very strange. The scientists' findings were astounding. They discovered the powers of Metroid might be harnessed for the good of civilization. Although it's the Galactic Federation, so it's as good to civilization that the Federation can figure out how to do. Satisfied that all was well, I left the station to seek a new bounty to hunt, but I had hardly gone beyond the asteroid belt when I picked up a distress signal. Ceres Station was under attack. And to everyone's least favorite area in Super, probably. I don't like it, I don't know. Every other area is at least tolerable, even if I don't love Meridia. Just Ceres is just there, and it's just not fun. Alright. Yeah, you will be able to tell that I know what I'm doing a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, I'm not oats and goats or anyone. After all, I did that wall jump there because I shouldn't have. There's speedrunning techniques like this arm pumping. I'm about to do one here where it's just have Ridley damage you enough till he flies away. Spoiler alert, Ridley exists. I've played this game a few times, so it's like, it's not a blind LP, which is one of the things is I kind of like blind LPs, if only because Ridley, damage me, please. Ridley, come. Oh my. There. It's not a blind LP only because I've played it a lot. Super is actually a really fun game. You have to learn the controls, which really aren't that difficult. I know people that struggle with the game, but the same person that I know that actually struggles with Super has no problems with the Link to the Past and is actually really good at Link to the Past compared to me, because I can't beat the game worth anything. So I'm just like, you know, you can complain all you want about the fact that you're not good at Super, but I don't know how you managed to be. No, it's like we're opposites. It'd make for a really interesting one player, two controller, or no, two players, one controller thing, where if you did a compromiser of Link to the Past and Super, I could do the Super, he could do the Zelda, and it'd be great. Oh yeah, oops, don't hit the tab button. I'm so used to, because, you know, I do everything casually, that I have the tab key set to fast forward, and I fast forward a lot through all, like, the cutscenes, because it's like, yes, there's an Orange Planet, congrats, it's Planet Siege, yes, I know, but not everyone knows, so it's important not to. It's cool seeing the ship disappear, especially like pixelated like it was. Let's go. The music here is really eerie to start out with, and it's actually quite interesting. Now, some people excel at figuring out how to go down here without hitting platforms, and I did okay, I guess. I hit a few on the way down. Ichi, ni, san, yon, go, roku, nana, over, back. You can count 6 if you don't count that first platform. I always count that first platform to make it 7. And then there's a technique where you don't fall down here. And you hold the run button, and because there's a run button in this game. I'll show you what everyone likes to call the noob bridge later, because sometimes you don't know there's a run button in a game. And most people, I say most people, I have definitely fallen victim to the noob bridge, not knowing that there's a run button in this game, because I was used to Zero Mission where there wasn't a run button. And also, it doesn't exactly tell you the controls of anything. But once you learn the game, then actually you start running all the time. It's great. And you actually use the run button for a lot of interesting tricks, which I'll try to show right now, but it's a small space, so yeah, no. I also bounced anyways, but you can speed your way through that door. Yeah. Okay, well, that did not work out at all. It's 5 missiles for door, which is different than every other game, pretty much. There's an energy tank there, which if you had bombs, you could get. But, you know, I don't, and the planet's not awake yet, so I can't use a damage boost. There's normally enemies in this room, and you can either damage boost off of a Geemer or a lettuce leaf. I don't actually know what they're properly called, and I think I've seen someone do really good wall jumps, but I don't know how they did it. There's an energy tank there you can't get. Big problem I have with supers, and it's only my problem with super, is that you can't tell when you've picked up an item and when you haven't, because the item dots don't change. In future, oh yeah, in future Metroid games, I say future, I guess Zero Mission and Fusion count, it'll tell you when you've collected the item. And so, and if you haven't, it'll be an open circle instead of a closed circle. It works really well for trying to get 100%, because as long as you have seen the item, you know to pick it up. And here's the terrible, terrible climbing of the tower, but you'll know to pick it up. So if you know where all of the items are, you'll know which ones you have and haven't picked up. And it also makes randomizers easier. If you know where all the items are, but you know you can't always pick them up, then you can easily just say, oh yeah, look here, I don't have this item yet, but I've seen it, so I know to go back here and get it. You can also possibly remember, oh hey, this item was here, I want to go back and get that. And remember where on the map it is. Let's see, through there I need bombs, and I think that's an energy tank. Actually, I think it's just missiles. Then what you want to do is come up here. And having watched the Runaway guys, they did Super Metroid. Emil was the one doing all of it. Apparently John and Tim have known some tricks with it as well, but seeing the fact that Emil never noticed that there's that morph spot there was very interesting. Granted, for the most part, my getting into Metroid was due entirely to YouTube. Just watching videos of YouTubers playing it because of randomizers. And if I was good enough at speedrunning, I could get through that door. Now, I don't think I've actually ever seen a speedrunner get through the door, but they always act like you can. I think it's just a joke that I never actually got was a joke. But here we have Bomb Chorizo. You got bombs and he came alive and said hi. Unfortunately, his hellos mean death. I have to put him down. Bye bye, Birdo. Yeah. You know, for Super not being rated, like, it's probably, what, E or E10 plus? I don't know. It was a Super NES game, so I don't know if they had ratings then. But if they did, then it would... That shows it lost its head. That shows it. Chorizo? No, that's a sausage. Maybe it is chorizo. So I'm going to see... Okay, I'm going to try to make this jump. But in the interest of time, if I don't... And I just say I'm good, then I will. But it's possible to break out of here. It's known as the Alcatraz escape. And it's faster if you know how to do it, because otherwise you have to try to... Like, I think what you want to do is... Yeah, I think it's probably easier if you could do it like that. This is making for excellent commentary, I know. Excellent gameplay footage for excellent commentary. You know what? I'm done. I can't ever really do that unless I have Space Jump, but then Space Jump just is like, it doesn't count because it's Space Jump. It's something I need to practice, but I'm not good at right now. What I'm gonna do is, there's clearly a wall that looks suspicious, and if you learn anything from video games, you bomb suspicious walls, but first I want to go through here and collect this item because I made note of it. Bomb these blocks here. You'll notice that there's like a design for bomb blocks. Whenever they're revealed, it looks like, I don't know, the moon, Swiss cheese. It is just a missile. So you'll know there if it's obvious like that, but it's not always actually that obvious. So sometimes you'll have to just bomb around everywhere and reveal secret places. They usually try to give a hint when something's suspicious. Like you'll see up here, The wall looks suspicious. We can get up here. Long shafts. I thought I was done with that when playing Metroid 1. Just looking at Metroid 1, long shafts, 0 missions condensed, everything else. Not gonna have long shafts, but no, there's very long shaft in the beginning of Super, and then they die down. Here we have our first energy tank, health system. See energy in the top left corner. I've already lost 10. Excellent. I get full healed from energy tank and then get immediately hit by a waiver. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open this door, and you can go this way, but there's nothing you can do this way, so I'm gonna go here instead. To the right is the entrance to Torian, which is the final area of the game, and obviously we are not ready for the final area of the game. This isn't a one episode game, like 30-minute game. Nah, it's gonna be much longer than that, but it'll be fine. And actually, what I'm gonna do is just that. Okay. See, didn't even notice I did anything, right? So, once again, I'm gonna open this room. This room, I'm gonna have to come back to that. But, you can do something. And what you can do is quite useful for speedrunning. And I've done it a lot. I say speedrunning, I mean it's just faster. It helps you skip some stuff. It's not even too terribly difficult, especially once you learn it. It's mostly just timing, which it's not even super tight timing. There are a lot of super tight timing things, and what you can do in that room is not it. Honestly, I think bomb jumps are probably more difficult in terms of timing than anything else. I'm gonna take out, we have, what are those called? I know the name for them, I just can't remember them off the top of my head. So this is one of those times where I had said I was going to just budge and let myself do things like wall jumps. You can wall jump up there if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to, but you can, and so I do. It just gives you some missiles. Not really super important. If we come down here, we got a missile and some suspicious looking tiles. Come down here, shows an orb with charge beam. Allows us to charge up our attacks. As you're about to see, if it takes me out the menu, charge beam. You can shoot charge shots. And, you know, the pipe looks maybe a little suspicious. We're gonna have to come back for that later. What's great is there's a little speed running of sorts. Like, if you're trying to get 100%, there's a technique there. You can get that item. It's good for if you do randomizers. You see, we have a green door. Missile doesn't do anything. Charge beam also doesn't do anything. You have to come back to that. So we're gonna come back up here then. Kill the lettuce leaf. See, there's nothing there. Kill some more lettuce leaves. There's an orange door. This is orange. In case you're colorblind like me and might not be able to tell. That's orange. Can't do anything with that. Missiles, not bombs. Actually, let me try a charge beam. You know, it's the same color if you look at it. Nope. You have to come back to that later. You'll notice there's a lot of things we can't do yet. That's just this type of game. But also, it just happens to be one item we need. 2, if you want to go through the green door. You can go through here, red door. Takes 5 missiles, unfortunately. See, the other Metroid games, it takes 1 missile. 1. And so it's great. Give me some health. Okay. I'm gonna go through here, because this looks suspicious, right? Well, it is. There's a door here. And it leads us to our first save station we've been to. I'm gonna save, not because I'm actually scared of dying, just to show that there's a save station here, and for the recording in the rare instance I do die, because I often don't use the save station. If you're good at the game, you don't need it. It's just how it is. There's some key hunters. Can take them out. Another one. We're about to come across the door. Key hunter. Maybe asking why I'm fighting them. You'll see. I think there's... Oh, no, there's that one more. A vertical door. When we come up here, will be our first boss. Everyone's least favorite. You want to know how you fight this boss? You go in the corner. This corner. And hide. It's terribly entertaining. That's why everyone hates this boss. You can see, there's the green door back. We're not going to be able to come back the way we came. When you equip missiles. And shoot them in his mouth. If you are high enough, you can shoot your missiles fast enough to land 2 or 3 in his mouth at once. I did not jump high enough, so I got 1. But I might be able to get 2 there. Aw. It is possible to get 2, and I'm just not apparently that good at it. You can see he's already changed color to a darker shade of green. It's not always easy to tell. He opens his mouth like an idiot. There, I landed too. He opens his mouth like an idiot, says, "Here's my core." If he just didn't show his core, then wouldn't be a problem. Wouldn't have died. You know, this is a boss. Needs to expose its weakness for no reason. Right now I'm curious, like, what the spores do. Because he shoots out spores. But, like, in an application sense, besides hurting Samus, because Samus isn't always going to exist, why are the spores there? And then what do they do to injure Samus? Because, you know, there's spores. What are they going to do? They can do what? Stick to her? Oh no, she's wearing a suit. So, I don't know. What's interesting is the blue background almost looks like Phazon from the Prime series. I know someone pointed that out to me, but it's just really interesting that it looks like that. And he's dead! Every Let's Player's worst enemy, this boss. It's just not fun. Oh, you just wait there, shoot some missiles in his mouth. He dies, just takes a while. Not great. We'll farm back our little bit of missiles. Maybe wondering, what do? Well, you fall. You fall down this giant shaft. Yeah, it's actually faster to fall without doing that. Might want to do it anyways. Super missile. So, we finally have one of our most powerful weapons. And it's 20 minutes in the game. Yes. You get item progression quickly. You can beat the game quickly too, but it's only like a few hour long game. Granted, it's for the SNES, but Chrono Trigger was definitely a long game, and it was not for the SNES, or it was for the SNES, but it's fine. Get item progression quickly. So, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna go back up here. I want to show you that room after killing these lettuce leaves by shooting through a block, because this game is perfectly coded. The reason that works is because it's a slope. It's considered a slope tile, I guess, and so you can shoot through slopes. And you can do a lot of interesting things by marking a tile as a slope without it being a slope. The actual way to do this is to run into it and then place a bomb be as speedy as possible, because otherwise it bounces you up. Let me show you this room, because it's related to some super missiles. Super missiles also count as the power of 5 missiles. It might not work that way in damage, but it works that way on doors. So you can do that. So in order to do that trick, what you do is you stand outside, you jump in whilst holding run, and when you hit the ground, you morph. So you're holding down, then when you hit the ground, you morph, and you keep the speed. It's basically a speed keep. And so you're able to go under the gates that are closing because you're in morph ball form. And so normally when you're running, you're not able to actually make it through the gates. They go down before you can make it because you're in morph ball form. You're only like a little less than a block tall maybe, and you're able to actually clip through the gates like that. And so it works really well on instances like that. And you'll see it again on Ice Beam. Like I said, the only reason I did that is because the things you get out of it normally would be super missiles. That's kind of the big play. Otherwise, you get a reserve tank, which is everyone's least favorite item. Except mine. I like reserve tanks. They're literally just another energy tank. Everyone's like, oh, yep, it's a trash tank. Kappa. Put Kappa face on it. Because it's the joke item. No one likes it. I'm just sitting here thinking, it's literally just another reserve tank. There's no reason to not get it. Some people like to actively avoid them. So, whatever. But here I like doubled my missile supply already. And I doubled my super missile supply. So now we have 10 super missiles. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that super missile door. That's our next target. So let's go this way. And the Leslies and the googly eyes. They have official names, I'm sure. I just don't know all of them. And I just really like the fact that they're called Leslies. Well, not officially, but just the name Leslie for them. It's great. But yeah. So another technique is arm pumping moves you pixels forward, so it saves you a few pixels. Meaning it saves you a few frames. It's ultimately faster in the long run, because, you know, time builds up. But something I won't always do. So at this super missile door, let's go through. And there are two ways we can go. Theoretically, we could find a way to probably wall jump up there, but I'm pretty sure you actually need high jump to do that anyways. And you'll see there's a suspicious pipe with a missile. Or missile for some people. On the Europeans, missile. Filthy American missile. I like missiles to be called that in Super, but just something about pronouncing it as missile. Otherwise, just like in like an actual applicable sense of real life, it's great. What we're gonna do? We're gonna go across this bridge. Oh, but we can't, because there's crumble blocks. This is new bridge, because if you try walking across the crumble blocks, it does not work. Well, you see the run button? Yeah. If you don't know the run button exists, you're just gonna do this. Let's see how far I can get. I managed to get 2, but probably because I jumped. So yes, you need to actually run across here. We have some cacti. And this door, which we'll go through next time. See you all then.